5th round.
Daniel's going to do that back arm stand with double somersault with a half twist. You know, and diving's all about the details. You know, even in that handstand, as he goes up, you know, I'm looking at him and he doesn't have the greatest toe point. His feet aren't all the way extended and it just is a little distracting. But nice dive until the end, and you got to line up and get in vertical.
Hernandez up next.
So this is Nate's reverse 2.5 somersaults tuck on the 5-meter platform. And that was great. You saw him really pick up his visual cues and lead with his legs on his kick. Still just a touch over, but very good. And it's going to be a solid score of, you know, in the good range, 6.5, 7.
63.55 is the total score. Chisel up next.
So Ben is going to be doing that front 3.5 somersaults tuck. So he's going to do his run to the end of the platform, land and punch with those arms up, and then throw and initiate the somersault. And you can see he knew he missed it. He missed it a little bit, but going over there. But he had a good start. And, you know, from this front view, you can see pretty wide with the legs in the tuck. You know, if his feet were together, and if you see that as a judge, you have to deduct for that. But just a little bit with the over-rotation, some of those little things in the form in the air.
46.2 the score. Casillas up on the 10-meter now.
Matt's going to do an inward 3.5 somersaults tuck. So again, rotating back towards the platform here. And it's solid. It's going to end up in the satisfactory range. It's a good dive. It's not in the good range. It's a satisfactory dive because it ends up just a little short of vertical. You got to keep pointing those feet in the tuck and some little, you know, form things there to make that flight of position a little better. But a good start.
Schinholzer also on the 10-meter.
So TJ is going to do a reverse 3.5 somersaults tuck here on the 10-meter. It's one of his highest degree of difficulty dives at 3.3. And you know, that was better than his back 3.5 because he came out tight. He still gets a little loose as he reaches to the water instead of holding that tight stomach and core going in. But, you know, that's just trust of, yeah, I'm in the right spot, and get in a little cleaner.
56.10. And Faminoff back up on the 10-meter.
And Aiden's got a forward 3.5 somersault pike. And that's a solid dive. It's good. I don't know that it's very good. It's probably satisfactory to good, actually, because it just a little low. Didn't really jump as high as you would like, but nice and vertical, and could be a little cleaner on the entry. So in the last 2 rounds, Zach and David have the same exact dive. So they're both doing the reverse 3.5 somersault tuck in this round, and then their highest degree of difficulty dive in the last round.
At the moment, Cooper in second. Dinsmore follows him. What'd you think?
That was going to be very good. I would say 8.5. Maybe a little forward as far as the distance goes, but nice and solid. And again, he's kind of got those flat feet and the legs split in the tuck, but he puts them back together and kicks tight and right up and down. Nice job.
So Dinsmore will try to finish this round in first place.
And here he goes, same dive. So you might see another one.
Who was better?
David's was better. You might see another 9, and you got 9s and 8.5 there. But that was a great start. And again, you can see his feet together in his tuck and his toes pointed, and those things matter. And they're details that you got to have if you're trying to get to that international level and get back and get another medal.
That was a 91.8, so it extends Dinsmore's lead heading into the final round. He and Cooper well out in front of everyone else. Shinholzer is in third. Here's Fecteau, who comes in 8th place.
So our final 8 dives here. So Daniel's going to do a back 2.5 somersaults with 1.5 twists. So you're going to see somersaulting and twisting and in the pike position there. So a lot of different things going on. And it takes a lot of gymnastics ability, but it also takes a lot of just awareness and courage and guts. Pretty solid finish for Daniel there on that back 2.5, 1.5. Could be a little more vertical at the end.
So Fecteau's competition is over. Now Nathaniel Hernandez.
So you're going to see a different twisting dive here. So this one's also a back twisting dive, but he's going to do the back 1.5 somersaults with 3.5 twists. So more twists, less somersault. And that's a pretty twisting position. When he comes out, he gets a little loose in his core and it arches past in the finish. But I really like his start as far as the jump and the turn. Just would like to see him reach out and be a little tighter on the entry.
61.05 the score. Shizzle getting ready up on the 10-meter.
Ben's choosing to do the arm stand for his last dive here. And he presses up to his handstand. And here's one that is hard for the judges to do. You know, speaking as an official, that's a dive. You watched him go up and, okay, the definition is you've got to show a steady vertical balance, and he kind of moves through that position.
Didn't hold it long enough?
Didn't necessarily not hold it, but didn't show enough control once he's there in that vertical balance. And so you can get a deduction anywhere from a 1/2 to a 2-point deduction. And depending on what the individual judge thought about that. That's why they take those 7 scores and they throw out too high and too low. And I can make an argument for either way you went on that.
Casillas.
And again, another twisting dive. That's one you don't see as often. You saw actually the Mexicans in the Olympics a few years ago do that dive, but with one more twist. But that's a forward 2.5 somersault with 2.5 twists, where he does the twist in the beginning part of the dive and then flips it over.
He scored well, 70.95.
Yeah, that was a good effort, and it's a lot of different things going on there.
Shinholzer up next. Shinholzer, the current 3rd place diver at the moment.
Yeah, and that would be a nice dive for him to finish with here. This is the back 2.5, 1.5. We saw this one already from Daniel Fecteau. He's going to go 2.5 somersaults with 1.5 twists in the pike position. And solid. So there's some little things in there. You know, it's moving well. He's got the right start. He's where he needs to be. Again, just didn't quite hold his tightness on his entry, and it slides past a little bit.
That's a 48. We'll see if that's going to be good enough to keep him in 3rd. Faminoff was in 4th, so Faminoff certainly can try to move up into 3rd with a good dive here.
And this is his highest degree of difficulty dive here at the end. It's an inward 3.5 somersault tuck at 3.2 off the 10-meter platform. And he's going to be happy with that. I really like the dive. Again, a little bit of the split tuck with the feet apart there and some flexed feet. But he crushed his entry, which, you know, helps the judges go, yeah, that's a good dive.
That's a 72, and it does move him into 3rd place for the moment. So Faminoff looks like he will finish 3rd unless there's a huge mistake here from Cooper.
Well, and remember, he did a back 2.5 pike that he missed for 2s and still managed to do that. So you got to be able to come back. So Zach's last dive here is the back 2.5 somersaults with 2.5 twists. So we've seen it with 1.5 twists. That's the same dive that Mr. Dinsmore has last as well.
3.6 level of difficulty.
Again, it's solid. It's a satisfactory dive. It's going to be satisfactory to good. In the 6 to 7 range would be my guess. But it's a little too far away from the platform, and he leans back too much on that. He works to get it to vertical, which is why it ends up as good as it is. But I think if he learns to get those arms through and jump up a little bit more, it makes it easier for him.
Well, it secures second place for Cooper, and this is now Dinsmore trying to win the title.
You know, and David did a very good one in the preliminary series. He scored over 90 points on his back 2.5. So he's capable of doing an exceptional one.
He's 27 points away from the title. And Dinsmore is going to be the champion.
And the only complaint I have about that is his feet when he pike saves is they're flat. And it's the last thing you see.
You are picky.
I know. I'm aware.
97.2. That's why you're a judge at the highest level.
Yeah, you know, it's a great dive and a good entry, but those little details matter. But nice effort from David. And again, he breaks the 500-point barrier too on that last dive with over 90, almost 100 points there. But you know where he's headed. You got to have that.
Got to be better.
You got to be better, and those little details are going to matter if he's going to go back to Tokyo.
David Dinsmore, who has been succeeding on the international level, succeeding again this year at the ACC level, winning his second straight title out of the University of Miami. And Cooper, his teammate, finishing second. Feminoff finishing third.